Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to part 15 of my Rome Total War campaign. I am Lews Therin, and I'm actually really impressed about the fact that I'm already at 15. It feels like just 2 days ago that I started this game. Actually, when I really think about it, it probably was a couple days ago, considering I record all of these back to back. So, anyway, let's catch up on what's been going on. So, over the last few times, we've been steadily expanding. Most of Africa is now under our control. This area of Fazania is our newest conquest, as can be seen by their happiness. I'll talk about the happiness thing. Even though you probably know about the game at this point, I still want to address why they're so unhappy with me right now. And half of no, actually, this is 3/4 of this area called Mauritania is also taken back. All the former Carthage areas have been taken, except for these two because one of these is owned by our allies. And I'm looking around. I did some scoping around earlier off camera to decide what was going to be taken over because, as you can see, there's still so much shit to do. It's almost overwhelming. So let's go over here for a second. So these are our allies. As much as I would love to own Magna Graecia, I have kind of accepted the fact that we're not going to take them anytime soon. So because of that, I'm just going to chill out. I'm just not going to worry about them for now. These over here are our allies. The Celtici, and they've been controlling a good piece of Spain for some time. And again, because they're allies, I'm kind of not going to fuck with them. Aside from that, though, I really do hope the Celtici break their word and attack us first because they're becoming too powerful, and I would like to crush them now rather than later. It's the same way I feel about the Veneti, except that the Veneti are not our allies, and I know war is coming, which is why there's an army camped near this area here, Brundisium. So back over here. So I'm thinking we need to take the war to Spain. These two areas right here are not allied with us. These guys seem to be at war with the Celtici all the time. But what I really set my eyes on, see, I can't zoom in as much as I would like to for some reason, is right here. So right here in the area of Ars, yeah, that's a lovely name, owned by the Aretani, is a section of olive oil, which means that it would increase our earnings to just export this olive oil. I don't really give 3 fucks about olive oil, but I do care about the money that will come with it. So we're definitely going to look into that. I also want to move over here to this Tarcogenesis area and take it all over. So the new plan will be move this army over here that's near Fazania and move it all the way back to Cartagenesis, and then move this army that's already there straight over here to the heartland of Ars so we can take the olive oil for ourselves. Because if we were to go over here to our diplomatic status, which shows how strong somebody is against us, they're pretty weak. Now, that being said, let me, preface it, not preface it, but like, ooh, this is what I'm looking for, but I can't remember. It basically means that you say one thing, but then you add a little word to say, but what if? But I can't remember it. One day I'll remember it. Hopefully during this video in particular. But we need to remember, even though it looks like they're weak, that's the same thing I said about the people who owned this area right here of Sidamos. I can't remember their name anymore. It's like Manga some shit. So these guys over here were quite strong at some point, even though their army technically was weaker than us. Remember that the army size seems to calculate based on the amount of armies you own, not necessarily the ones that are nearby. So yes, if you added up all my armies, I can probably crush everybody, but not all my armies are in the same place. And because of that, we need to be a bit more careful. And as the game gets harder, the spread of the armies is going to get more difficult, and as such, we really do need to be more careful about how these are established. With that in mind, we're going to move this army over here by Carthage, and we're going to move it over here to probably Casentio. Why? Because I still want it within arm's reach in case we get in a war here in Africa, but technically these are our allies, so we shouldn't be having that. This army is also going to stay nearby. Mainly to keep the peace here in this half of Fazania as we construct and make it our own. Finally, once this thing is settled, we're going to move back this army, probably to mainland Italy or over here to Mauritania if relations with the Celtici fall apart. Now, this is all based on what I think so far. This is very much subject to change. Now, I would like to zoom out of here, but my game was... Oh, no. Here it is. The game is actually allowing me to go now. I believe we were at the end of the turn anyway, but I do want to check on this army and see if we can recruit some more units before we move on. Yes, we can. And we have just enough money to recruit maybe a couple of units. Ooh, these units are expensive. Yeah, so just to be safe, I recruited some units because I do want a very strong army from when we take Ars. Ars here, oh god, it's like horribly defended. So if we're able to bring in that second army, it'll be a piece of cake to take over this area. In the meantime, also, I want to start moving the fleet. Yeah, so the fleet is moving, but they will never move in time. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do that. Actually, let's go over here to the... Oh, the fleet actually has an upgrade. Shit, fleet. Let me upgrade you. Alright, there we go. Actually, we're going to check, because I'm pretty sure... No, it's over here. In Imperium, it tells us how many fleets we can have. Yep, we can make one more fleet. So, because we know that it's going to be a tough battle, that we're definitely going to need a fleet to defend our interests, we're going to build one more fleet. Of course, we can't afford the general, so next turn, we will build one more fleet. Let's move on. We have a lot of food. Okay. Oh, I need to issue an edict. So let's issue an edict, which edicts basically are rules that the provinces have to abide to. Because we own this province entirely, and I don't think we'll lose it anytime soon, we're going to issue the edict here. So let's see, we got Romanization, which we don't need. Commercial stimulation, which means more... no, I don't know about that. Let's do tax harvesting. I want them to be able to give us more taxes. They're always happy with us anyway, so why not just charge them for it? That's kind of how I feel at this point. Alright, so now that the edict is done, we're going to go through each army because it seems that they all have upgrades that we need to deal with. So let's just go real quick. I want to get through this as fast as possible. Oh man, which army needs any... Okay, here it is. Here's the army. So only one army actually needed anything. And for some reason, it was pestering us the entire way. What the fuck? Oh, they don't have a tradition. God forbid I don't give them a tradition. No, these guys have traditions. So what are we doing here? Who does not have a tradition? They don't need one. They're useless. Again, they have a tradition. I don't know what the fuck you want. Oh, these guys need a tradition. Okay. Keepers of the Peace. Yes, I actually really do want them to keep Keepers of the Peace because we need it badly. This army right here, totally suffering from attrition because they parked literally next to the road that they're supposed to be on. Fucking losers. Alright. Whatever. Let's move on. So yeah, currently in a peaceful time. However, I'm sure one of our allies is going to try to drag us into some sort of war, which is fine. I accept war. So, on a side note, apparently today there was some sort of attack in France. They were celebrating Bastille Day, which, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you care enough, but I'm pretty sure Bastille Day is to celebrate the revolution. I think. I don't know. Anyway, so during Bastille Day, a fucking psychopath decided he was going to drive his car into the crowd and then start shooting. And this is an issue that I see that keeps happening over and fucking over the place. And it's really disgusting at this point. But, you know, it seems to be the world we live in. Always said, like, the issue now is that people finally understand that they don't have to do much to create problems. So, you know, you can just drive into a fucking movie theater and shoot it up, and now you scared the shit out of people, and now they don't want to go to movie theaters. The issue with all these attacks is that the goal is not necessarily to succeed in the attack itself. The goal is that now the people who would otherwise have a normal life are now scared shitless to live it, because now they don't know. Like, what do you think is going to happen next Bastille Day? People are going to be scared shitless to go. Because, oh shit, somebody died in the Bastille Day. Or, you know, people who used to run in the Boston Marathon. How do you think those motherfuckers feel? You know, like, that's just the point. And as much as I hate it and as much as I think it's despicable, it makes sense. I can understand why they're doing it. I can't agree with it, but the goal seems to be working. People are scared of going into crowds and shit like that. Just over here nearby where I live, they did the whole Orlando shooting, and that shit still has effects that we're feeling over here right now. So it's upsetting. That's really all I can say about it. It's upsetting. So on a lighter note, war. We're gonna come over here, and we're pretty much just gonna hang out here on the sea and remind them that this is my fucking ocean, and there's no need for them to be near it. We're also gonna start protecting Brundisium because I don't like the fact that there's so many ships near Brundisium. And because the Veneti are getting a bit ballsy here, we're going to go into conversations with them. They seem to be getting very, very into expanding. We're on a non-aggression pact, though, but we're now going to talk about aligning ourselves with them because I don't know about them. Yeah, they would never become a client state. What am I doing here? So we're trying to... Let's do military access. I'll allow them to put their troops near my area as long as they are decent. So we can now enter their territory with our armies, and they can enter our territory with their armies. The reason I established this alliance is because by doing so, they are now pretty much by the balls. If they attack us when they started moving their armies through our land, every other country is going to look at them and be like, look at those cunts. They violated all those treaties. Now they're fucked. Same as how I'm fucked with Syracuse. You see them here? Syracuse right here is so plump for the taking. All I need to do is move this army here and the other army near Libya over here, and it's done. Syracuse is mine. We don't have to worry about them dragging us into any more needless wars. However, I don't think I can do that right now because Syracuse, too nice, too well defended by the treaties. So, we're going to do this. Let me explain to you what we're going to do. We're going... Sorry, I had a moment there. So, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to build the fleet that we talked about earlier. Oh, no, I wasted my money just now. I joked around. We're not building the fleet. We're going to talk to Ars one more time and see if they can shut the fuck up and leave us alone. But I frankly don't think it'll happen. Oh, no, not Ars, the Editani. So let's go to the Editani, who we're trading with, actually. It says here they're expansionistic, and I mean, yeah, they like expansion and they're unreliable. And since this is the way they are, I don't think I want to hang out with them at all. So I think we're going to take them over and just be done with it. So let's declare war. This is the fair thing to do. Declaring war while having treaties or shortly breaking them is considered treachery. Oh, so we have to break our trade agreement first. Now, how quickly can we declare war? We can do it now. Okay, cool. So we've declared war on the Editani, and by doing so, we also pissed off the Averni and the Volcae, who I can't fucking see anywhere around here on this map anyway, so who gives a shit about them? This war is going to be very interesting for us because it's early, and we already have 3 fucking fronts. We're also just going to attack the city directly and be done with it. So, we declared war, and immediately we are now ready to besiege the city, which is fantastic. Hopefully my allies will think about helping me. As a matter of fact, let's engage diplomacy with the Celtici and see if they want to become allies during this war as well.
I'm sure. We also need good food, a warm fire, and warm women.
So I'm willing to ask them to join me against the Editani. So it's fair. I'm asking them for war after they, asked me for war several times and didn't do it. So it's fair. This is all very fair. I need to locate the army that I have in Libya over here. just to see that they're all good. Yeah, they're all good. And Syracuse is here just chilling, doing their thing. We're going to start moving the agent because he's going to have to travel quite far away. These people here, Garmantia, are people we're also going to take over eventually, but right now they're kind of just there. They're not important to us right now. Let's do a quick run over of our peoples just to make sure that everything is up to speed. Yeah, so over here in our brand new city of... Oh wait, this is not our city. Over here on Sedamus, yeah, this is our city. We are actually not building anything, which is really, really bad because this might develop into slums. So hopefully next turn we'll start doing that. Because the army's here, though, these people are definitely not going to rebel anytime soon. However, I feel like the moment I move the army, it's the moment we have a problem. So we're just going to chill out for now. We're going to leave the army there to just hang out. Now, the war over here is clearly going to be much heavier, so the sooner I can move these troops into Demeti and Eol and then across the ocean, the better. And then I'm starting to think it might not be a good idea to keep the army here in Lepsis. So we're going to start them on a path back to Carthage. No, not to Carthage, to Thapsus. It's a good middle ground, and if the city is taken, we can easily move. The reason I'm going to do this is because I feel like these allies over here are reliable enough. Actually, let's look at them just for a second. Oh, they're unreliable according to the thing. Oh, well, you know. We're going to try to increase our standing with them then.
Let us use our time together in wisdom and seek accord.
Yeah, so I was trying to basically have them... So once we Latinize this entire area right here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer them client statehood. The reason I'm going to do that is because, frankly, it's just like vassals back in Japan. The reason I want to do this is because I want the region to be under our control, but I actually don't want to manage it, so it'd be really nice if they could just do it for us. I think we're about done here. Let's move on. So yeah, back to my whole point. I think these constant terrorist attacks are definitely doing something to the morale of the people in general. I definitely, anecdotally of course, I can't really tell you statistics, I definitely see that there's less people in gatherings and things of that nature because they know this shit happens. So it's pretty sad, but you know, it's there, it's happening. There's the Editani getting ready to reinforce the city, obviously, or oh, they're gonna meet us in battle. So they have a pretty strong army, and they have a reinforcing army. It's not that good of an army though, but it's there. It's enough for us to retreat. So we're going to retreat back to the city because clearly I started this war prematurely. I should have waited till the other army had breached our areas. And you see how I moved those ships next to them? They finally understood that that was me telling them, get the fuck out of my area. So that's good. And also the Celtici, even though they didn't join the war to help me, they still joined the war. Now, notice that their army over here went back to the city. Let's move for just a second. Let's attack the city. Because I see that we can totally take him now. I don't know why we can take him down. We couldn't do it before, but we're going to do it now. Let's auto-resolve aggressively. No, wait. Yeah, let's do it balanced. Okay, so we quickly took the city of Ars, which is just now my favorite city in the world based on the name. And we're gonna just peacefully occupy. Even though it doesn't give us any money, I really do just want peaceful occupation as much as possible. Can we garrison ourselves in this settlement? No, we cannot. So this settlement is complete trash, and as such, we can't really garrison much here. Let's create some barracks here. Ooh, we wasted a lot of money. We're gonna leave it there. These things can't become slums, so Yeah, this might have been a mistake to attack so early, but we're gonna take it. Because frankly, it's done. I can't do much about it. Now, the army that's supposed to be reinforcing needs to start moving. So let's march it over here. And then that's done. Then this army that I was moving just a little while ago needs to keep marching as well. The army over here to the north will turn on Lebaim immediately. And then hopefully we can move it just a bit more. Yes, we can. Over here. This army, fleet here is actually going to go to Alalia. Mostly because I want to be sure that our friends on the other side don't fuck us in the ass. And now that we scared them off with the fleet over here on the side, I think it's safe for us to go. However, I'm going to go to Armenium to keep an eye on them. I don't like the fact that they're fucking around too much. And then we're going to move this army back to Napoli. Because I want some force in the north. Not much, but I want some. Now, back over here in Sidamus, the city that we took forcibly, we're going to start by turning people Latin. The way we do this is we build temples, and we tell them, you're going to worship Jupiter now. He's your savior. And they're going to do that. Talk about the Lord Heracles and all of that shit. Heracles is actually Greek, so they don't like Heracles. They call him Hercules. Fun fact, actually, Heracles is the Greek name. So when you watch Hercules as a child, they lied to you. They were telling you the Roman version because it was simpler to say. Why did they do that? I don't fucking know. I think that if you're going to popularize a random mythological creature, you might as well fucking say it properly. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I used to love fucking Hercules back in the day. But then why didn't they just make it about, you know, Jupiter and Juno and all the cunts instead of doing it about fucking, you know, Zeus and Hades if you're going to use Hercules? Could have just said Heracles. Then again, though, think about it. If I tell you that Hades is Pluto, how does that make you feel on the planet?
Shall we hack at each other?
Oh,
Our enemies can gorge themselves
interesting.
on warriors' flesh.
So the Editani have now decided that they're not happy with fighting us. What they don't understand is that I'm gonna come back for them. However, I think it's important for us to say that we're at peace right now, because we took this section right here, which is where the fucking olive oil was, and now they're weak and they're complete pussies, and I think they can see that my army's moving forward. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say that we accept. However, we're going to test our luck. We're going to ask them for $500. If they say yes to that, we make peace. Haha. They did say yes to that. So we just stole their money on top of making peace, which is actually very convenient for us. This is excellent. I enjoy this. I see new factions popping up, which is interesting. The Veneti. Well, the Veneti actually are allowed to sail near my area, so I don't even know why I'm getting mad about it. See, there are the slums I was talking about earlier. Where's this Appius dude? Alright, so Sadamas clearly got some slums. Mostly our fault. And we're going to upgrade the city to a civil settlement because that'll make people a bit more Latin, I think. What makes them more Latin? Let's do a market settlement, actually. I'm sure markets are more important in the desert than, you know, having fucking theaters. The Odrysian Kingdom, which were the fucking cunts who were hanging out near us, all aggressively, were destroyed, which is good. Ooh, one of our allies is fighting Egypt. That's important. Hopefully, they will beat the fucking shit out of each other and make them weak for us to take them. But for now, we're just gonna watch. Back over here, we are still maneuvering the fleet back to Obesium or whatever, and we're maneuvering this fleet over to Alalia. I've decided that I'm not going to build the fourth fleet, not because I don't want to, but because I don't feel like there's a need right this second. And I'm getting a bit concerned about the fact that the Veneti keep building this fleet close to me. But, you know, we're going to see. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to move this army over here to Rome. And this fleet, as I was talking about earlier, we're going to make it bigger. And we're doing this because I just don't know what the fuck the Veneti are up to, and I feel like maybe having a good fleet nearby might make things easier. Now, this army right here needs to start marching towards Cosentia. So within 2 turns, we at least have an army in mainland Italy, and that would be exciting. Finally, we're going to march these motherfuckers closer to Thapsus, because eventually that's where we have to be. I don't know why the Syracuse are just hanging out near Thapsus as well, but whatever. Moving the agent as close to Carthage as we can, mostly because that would, you know, facilitate our travel for him. Can we move them into EO? No, not yet. So let's pretend. Yes, let's do that. Alright. So now we have a good roadmap of where the army is going to be heading. Within 1 turn they'll be in the sea, and within 2 they should be in Court Hadashi. We're actually going to maneuver the fleet to meet them in the middle so that we can at least provide some escort. Because the Editani have some ships nearby, and I'm not happy with that. Now over here at Ars, the people are actually not mad at us. They like us better than they like the fucking Editani. So we're not actually going to have to camp the army here for too long, which is exciting. We have, I don't know how many turns we're going to have to take before we fight the Editani again, because we're going to fight the Editani. It's just a matter of time. But let me see how long it's going to take us to fight them exactly. So in 9 turns. So we have 9 turns before we can actually fight the Editani again. But the plan is still safe. In 9 turns, we should have more power. Now, because we're going back to being a bit more peaceful, let's check out politics. So we're losing a lot of ground politically. It's pretty sad at this point. However, we have a consul. And what we're going to do is we're going to promote some of our people up. Maybe that will grant us a bit more influence. We're still at 50%. I don't know how I feel right now. We have a lot of problems going on. Huh. I think we're going to have to adopt somebody. Oh, it's going to cost us influence, though. See, my issue here is influence. We are losing influence rapidly. And the reason why that's going on is beyond my comprehension at this point. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the console we have. Maybe it's because Lucius Aemilius Paulinus kind of blows. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure what the problem is. Likes barbarians, likes successors, whatever that fucking shit is. We're gonna assassinate this dude's wife, though, because that's only gonna cost us 1 senator. And his wife blows. Nope, wait. See, I don't know if I have so many fucking senators to just spare, so we're actually gonna wait. I was about to kill her, I swear, but I decided it's not a good idea. Let's look at our provinces to make sure that everything's okay. Not like we have a lot of money to spare for them, but still. Sedamus is still the prime area in which we're gonna focus. We need to maintain order in this city, and we need to Latinize them fast. Oh, the presence of the army is clearly lowering their cultural affinity towards the other people, which is good. Jesus, I thought that was my computer. Let's see. So yeah. I didn't expect to get back into peace with the Editani as quickly as we did. However, again, this is going to be convenient, especially because... Oh shit, what are they doing? These Editani getting ballsy with me. They're clearly moving an army. They're clearly moving an army. I don't trust them even a little. So, let's check this out. Yeah, this is mostly a water-based army. Nothing very serious. However, I think it... See, I wish it was politically okay for me to just fucking attack them. Because they're spending way too much time near me. Way too much. So, remember how I said I was going to build a new army? It's time. We're building a fleet. Yeah, I'm not moving another Julii up. Oh, wait. Is this Julii? Lucius Aemilius Paulus. He's a statesman. I think it's fair to have him as a fleet leader. But maybe I shouldn't have done that. Another Julii. Whatever. It's too late. Oops, that's too many. We need a small fleet. Yeah, let's build a small fleet for now. I have to waste some more money on other things anyway. And we're just gonna build this one up a little bit. 2 turns? Go fucking suck a dick. We're not gonna do that. This army will finally camp in Thapsus, and you will keep moving towards Carthage. Now back over here, need to get rid of these slums fast. We'll create a villa, and then we'll keep making them Latin slowly but surely. I don't have the money to fucking make him Latin all the time. So let's move this army over here into the sea, and let's have them meet them there. Just for protection. Not much protection because, as you can see, this is a very small navy we have there. But hell, it's better than no navy. Back over here in Ars, we still have enough money to upgrade a bit of it. So we're going to create a new settlement of olive trees so that we can actually, you know, build some olive oil and shit. And then we're going to look into creating some grain, but what do you have here? Stables. I don't fucking want to eat the horses, so we're going to redo this. Who increased in rank? Where the fuck is he? Oh, he has reassumed command of the Thapsus army. Okay. Alright. Now, because our Julii came back, does that increase our... Yep, we seem to have seen an increase. Fuck you, come on. 253, so we've gained a senator, for what that's worth. I notice how all the Julii men are in the military, and not all of their men are in the military, mainly because I control the military, but still. And then let's move this army to Vela 3. And this one continues its march towards Cassentia. And then that's done. Alright, I think the army movement has been successful enough. And we're going to actually move this army up to the border. Because I want them to understand that if their fucking bullshit navy over here even thinks about attacking Alalia, I will wreck their goddamn capital. And I will burn it to the ground. And you can take that bitch to the bank. Alright, so I'm trying to make the episodes shorter, mostly because it's, you know, easier to cut and upload and stuff, but also because there are a lot of slow points in the game, and I feel like if I make it shorter, it disperses it. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense. So let's go over here to the faction ownership so that I can highlight how we stand so far. So in this episode, we finally gained the region of Ars, and we're still working on stabilizing these areas over here. Because we know the Veneti are getting way too powerful, we're now moving armies here because we know the conflict is inevitable. It's going to happen. And then on the other side, we're going to work on killing the Editani once and for all. Massalia and I still have good relations. These Bugdalia people suck and they're getting their ass whipped by the Celtici. So I have an instinct. If I can get the Keltici to give us military access, perhaps we'll just cut through there and take some provinces while we're at it before anything happens. But I am wary about expanding borders, and creating a country within ally territory, because eventually we're not going to be allies and it's going to be a problem. So, I hope that we can at least take the Eltici, the Edatane capital here before the Keltici do, because otherwise we're going to be completely surrounded by them and that will blow. Um, but yeah, until next episode, I am Lews Therin. Tell them this is my blind run of Rome 2 Total War. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff. I'm not going to beg for it. You're in part 15. If you haven't done that at this point, it would be amazing. Alright, until next time, see you later.